So wait, it's your homeboy Quetzalcoatl hitting your ass up with another video. Now today we're gonna talk about the Pablo Cesar Cano versus Paulie Malignaggi fight, which was a great motherfucking fight. Very close fight. You know, you saw from the beginning, Paulie Malignaggi began establishing his jab. He had very good footwork. Paulie Malignaggi doesn't really have any type of power, and you know now he's fighting at 147 pounds, so it's even less. But he has great technical skills. He's a very good boxer, and that's what's allowed him to be relevant. You know, as far as being in the spotlight in boxing for years now. In this fight, from the beginning as well, you saw that Pablo Cesar Cano got a huge ass motherfucking cut over his eye, man. I don't know what it is about this dude, but I mean, big fights, he's getting cut, and he's young too, man. I think they said he was like 23 years old and shit. In his last big fight against Eric Morales, you saw he got cut like a motherfucker as well, and you know, in that fight, after that cut, his mental fortitude, you know, he kind of broke down. He wasn't the same fighter after that. In this moment, you know, the cut happened in the beginning of the fight, and I think that he learned from the Eric Morales fight, and you know, he kind of told himself, like, you know, in his mind, like, I'm not going out like a bitch this time. And you know, he brought it to Paulie Malignaggi. You could tell that Pablo Cesar Cano was clearly the bigger puncher in this fight. He started landing a lot of body shots on Paulie Malignaggi. And what was great about this fight is that both fighters were effective with their strategy. While Paulie Malignaggi was getting caught with a lot of punches, you know, he took the punch as well. You know, you saw he had a good chin, and at the same time, you know, he was able to land combinations. He was able to control the pace of a lot of those rounds. And at the same time, you know, Cano was landing big shots, and those body shots were part of the reason why you saw Paulie Malignaggi begin to slow down a bit at the end of their fight, which allowed for that big knockdown that Cano landed in the 11th round. In the 11th round, you saw Paulie Malignaggi, he was a bit tired in that fight because Cano was catching him, you know, to that body. He was a body snatcher of that motherfucker. And, you know, Malignaggi was able to take those shots well, but he began breaking down a bit, and Cano was able to catch him with a huge right hand. Caught him right on the chin, and Malignaggi went down. Malignaggi immediately, you know, signaled to the fans that he was okay, but you could tell that he was in bad shape. Cano tried to capitalize on it, but you have to give Malignaggi credit. He was able to weather that, being badly hurt, and get through that round. The next round, I also gave it to Pablo Cesar Cano, but you know, Malignaggi was able to finish the fight on his feet. Malignaggi won the fight by a decision. Me myself, I had this fight scored 114 to 113 in favor of Pablo Cesar Cano. In my prediction video, I had predicted that Paulie Malignaggi was going to win this fight, but on my scorecard, I had Cano winning by 1 point. But some of these rounds were so close that I can understand if someone saw it 114 to 113 for Paulie Malignaggi. It's very understandable, but that knockdown that Cano had and the way he finished the 12th round, those were the rounds that won it for him on my scorecard, and it was a great fight overall. And you can't really be mad at the decision because, you know, at the same time, Paulie Malignaggi is the champion. He's you know, in his hometown, so Cano had all those elements against him, but I mean, Cano put up a hell of a fucking fight. He was fighting at 147. I'd like to see him at 140, which is his comfortable weight class, and he would put up some good fights. You know, he's still young, and you know, he's shown that he's able to go in there, put up good performances against big name fighters. As far as Paulie Malignaggi goes, you know, he stayed the champion. what are the fights to come in the future? You know, that's up to Golden Boy. You know, they got some pretty good matchups at 147. Depending on what Malignaggi wants to do, you know, he could take some big, huge legacy fights, or he could try to take some like B class opposition and try to keep that title as long as possible. But either way, you know, Paulie Malignaggi is I believe a 2 or 3 time champion. So he's already done enough for his legacy to at least be considered for the Hall of Fame. So whatever he does after this is just adding on to a very solid resume. What did you think of this fight? How did you score this fight? Did you like this motherfucking shit? If you did, subscribe to a motherfucker. And this is your homeboy Quetzalcoatl signing the fuck on out.